Hey, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to be sitting in this corner out here, just resizing myself. And yeah, uh, good morning, everyone. Futures are red across the board this morning. Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq, uh, all are red. I want to highlight a few key macro themes that's flying under the radar: tariffs. We are now about 3 weeks out from July 8, when the next wave of China tariffs is scheduled to kick in. And there's been a lot of confusion. Some measures were delayed, others were announced without clear timelines. And that's made the market complacent. But impact is real and it's building. We saw LA port shipments fall 30% early May, right after the initial US tariffs were implemented. And I don't think that's a coincidence. And Jamie Dimon warned yesterday that markets are too relaxed about tariffs, and he expects S&P 500 growth to collapse if these trade barriers continue. Moody's have already responded by downgrading the US credit outlook. And with Moody's downgrading the credit outlook, now all three major credit rating agencies have downgraded the US credit outlook over a period of the last 5 or 6 years. Or maybe even 10 years. I think 2011 was when Fitch downgraded. So all of these things are going to weigh in. Meanwhile, central banks globally are starting to panic. Australia just cut rates to a 2-year low, and China has slashed lending rates for now. And CNBC reported all of these in the editions today, and that's where I get this information from. Also, elsewhere, Bostic, Fed Chief Bostic reportedly said tariffs have been larger than Fed anticipated at the start of the year. Thought there will be nothing new from other Fed speakers, but lack of economic data in calendar for today could get investors focused on the Fed speak, and maybe something or the other might be catalyzed from there, positive or negative. So it's a bit unpredictable this morning. I have been positioned bearishly for some time now, holding shorts in anticipation of these risks playing out. And this morning's futures give me a little ray of hope that it's starting to align with that view. With that context, let's jump into the charts, starting with S&P 500 and Nasdaq futures. As we see, our fear and greed index is still hovering around greed. We are not gone into extreme greed as yet. Now, that said, let's go and have a look at S&P 500 futures. As you can see, the S&P 500 futures is down 0.17%, which is not much. It can always bounce back into positive. I think the chart looks very bullish to me at this point of time, and I wouldn't be surprised if we break our resistance of 5994.00 today in the futures. And our momentum, MACD, everything is all within the regular parameters. We might be a little bit overbought on RSI, but we already cooled off a little bit. So we could go sideways or maybe a little above, break through this line. Of course, this diagonal line that you see out here is the ultimate stop point from where we have been pushed down for decades. So if we touch this line, the chances of us coming down is pretty good. But these days, machine algorithms push us slightly above that, create a bull trap, and then they fall down. As you have seen somewhere out here on 17th of December 2024. And also, if you go into the weekly time scales and all, you may see something out here. So that said, let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ future is also down 0.23% in pre-market trades. Again, this place, it's looking a bit overbought, and therefore it could cool off a little bit. And we have support at 21,272. And because we have already closed above this many times, this is a very strong support. It has been validated. So breaking down below this is going to be a bit difficult. We'll see how it goes. If we break down below this, then the 9-day exponential at 21098.54 will be our support. And you look at the dollar index, it's come down to 100.303. And it's slowly inching towards the sub 100 range. And if you look at our 10 years yield, it's at 4.461. Again, picking up today, been consistently getting support from the 9-day exponential. MACD is also bullish and momentum is also above average. And I think that it's likely to creep up as more uncertainty grows about the tariff and as geopolitical events also add to uncertainty. The rates are likely to go up because earlier when global uncertainty happened, yields were going down for US, but now US itself is creating uncertainty. And that's the reason why in the recent past, we have seen instances where the stock market went down and the yields also followed in the same direction, and they changed the pattern. The correlation has been disturbed a little bit. So we'll see what happens when the market opens and as we go through the Fed speak. Now let's look at our indicators where we left them. S&P 500 closed at around 5,963.59. But as we saw in the pre-market, we are at 4,971. So we are most likely going to try and break 5,992 today. It's just 20 points away. So the chances of us breaking through this resistance and converting it into a support is pretty high. And in terms of support, I think we'll find support at 5,882.43 for S&P 500. NASDAQ has closed at 21,447 yesterday. But this morning in the pre-market session, we have seen in the futures, we have seen that 21,472 is where the NASDAQ futures were. So I'm thinking that we are going to move upwards. We're going to open in the positive this morning, and probably we'll try to challenge our resistance at 21,731.12 if we have enough fuel in the tanks. As far as the MACD is concerned, it's tending towards the signal line. It's kind of cooling off a little bit. And momentum also shows that it's pretty hot out here. RSI is overbought and likely to move sideways and then come down, finding a support at around 21,380 for the day. VIX is moving up slightly, 0.17. That's not much. We still have support at 18.16. So we are exactly on 18.16 right now. So I would not talk about this support because we're already on top of it. I would say that the support for today is 15.84. Resistance could probably be the 9-day exponential at 19.27. Gold is up 0.35, and it seems to be bouncing off this diagonal line of support. And for today, the support is going to be 3,211.14, and resistance is the 9-day exponential at 3,246.775. I don't expect gold to move too much today because the resistance is very strong with the 9-day and the 20-day converging. And also it's a death cross out there, the 9-day crossing over the 20-day moving below it. So that's a death cross, a bearish sign. So let's go on and have a look at what's happening with AI. We have NVDA, which is down 0.43% in pre-market trades. But I think the resistance for today is going to be 140.02. And the support for today is going to be somewhere around 128.87. I expect NVIDIA to continue to be consolidating a little bit because there are a lot of good news stories for NVIDIA. Especially the huge Stargate project in the Middle East. That's also a very big positive, and the new link for NVIDIA GPUs with other GPUs is going to be a very big positive. So all of those catalysts are still behind NVIDIA. So I think we should be a bit bullish on NVIDIA. We are RSI overbought, but I think a consolidation and a move upward is in order for NVIDIA. Another factor I want to talk to you guys about with regard to Mag 7 stocks is most of these Mag 7 stocks do not need to borrow money, and therefore increase in the interest rates is not going to create a problem for these companies. It's going to be a problem for companies which have got a high debt equity ratio and who need to borrow. And that affects most of our genomic companies which need to borrow from time to time. So those companies will have problem also raising equities because they can't borrow money, and equities are going to be tight to come by because it has to compete with the rate of return given by the bonds. So the dynamic becomes very dicey for genomic companies unless they have a FDA approval for some really good therapy, or if they have a tie-up with a major pharma company which has got a good financial standing and gives them regular money. So that's what I would like to say before I forget. And then let's go on to Meta. Meta is down 0.19%, and it will continue to have support somewhere around 630. This is going to be support for NVIDIA, for Meta. And our resistance for Meta is going to be 655.14. As you can see, we have a lot of golden crosses out here, which are very bullish. And also the 9-day exponential is combined with the horizontal line of support out here. So support is very strong for Meta at 630.40. Now let's look at Google. Google is up 0.35%. And friends, I'm very bullish on Google I think Google is likely to do much better. We have a resistance out here at 169.27 for today. And I'm expecting that today we're going to break through that resistance. I've removed a lot of support and resistance lines to clean most of the charts, but I've left this exponential moving averages just to show you the formation of golden crosses. Multiple golden crosses are forming in the Google chart. And that's again a very bullish theme. And there's plenty of room on the RSI for it to go up. Whereas if you look at other charts, they're all very high on the RSI. So Google is going slow, but it's going strong. And it's also on a bullish channel. So overall, I'm very bullish on Google. Let's look at Amazon. It was down 0.31%. And I'm looking at the fact that we have closed yesterday at 206.16. So not much of a change from yesterday. Our support and resistance level remain the same. Our support is going to be somewhere between 201.38, which is this diagonal line of support, and the 9-day exponential at 202.35. That's the range of support for today. And the resistance is going to be at 208.05. Our MACD is bullish and also momentum is above average. So I'm hoping that Amazon continues to move and consolidate itself. I think the chances of Amazon going bullish is very remote unless the tariff situation changes, because I think Amazon has got a good China footprint. It gets a lot of stuff from there and the rates are going up. However, Amazon is quite sticky. It's very easy to buy. It becomes a muscle memory for people just to go into their browser and place an order for something that they could even buy from a nearby supermarket. So I think that stickiness factor is going to help Amazon to weather this storm and probably get people psychologically attuned to paying higher prices, and they will still be cheaper than the brick and mortar store. So that's why I think Amazon would probably consolidate and do better despite all the problems that we are seeing out there. Now let's look at Apple. Apple is down 0.27% from where it closed yesterday, and its support continues to be at around 207.12. And I think the 9-day exponential is going to be the resistance at 208.33 for today. Right now, we are at 208.18 in the pre-market session. So the chances of us breaking about 208.33 is pretty good. And also the 9-day crossing over the 20-day is exactly a golden cross, a bullish chart pattern. And therefore, I think the resistance for today is going to be the 50-day exponential at 201.61, which is this wavy blue line that you see out here. MACD is bullish, but tending towards the signal line. And also momentum is just above average. So overall, there is not much energy in the Apple stock at this point of time, in my opinion. Let's look at Microsoft, which is down 0.16%. This stock is very strong and it is overbought. And I have been waiting a long while. I bought Microsoft shorts somewhere around 5th of May when this was happening. And since then, I have been holding it and it has accumulated losses. I'm waiting for Microsoft to come down, but it's going from strength to strength. For today, the support is going to be at around 457.46. Right now, we are at 458.48. And therefore, I think we are charting new heights. And I would say that our resistance going forward for today is going to be around 467.80. So that's where I see the new resistance to be for Microsoft. Tesla is up 1.09%. Our support continues to be to 328.19, and our resistance continues to be 362.09. Pre-market, we are at 345.75. Oracle is down 0.13%, and our support continues to be 157.15. Right now, we are at 159.44, and our resistance, therefore, is 162.42. That's the range in which we are going to operate today. Rapid momentum, both are looking pretty decent. And AMD is up 0.14% in pre-market trade. And therefore, I think our minor line of resistance at 114.71 is going to be the minor line of support for today, failing which our support is the 9-day exponential at 110.80, and our resistance is going to be 125.20 for today. SMCI has got some pretty good reviews from a few analysts, and they have come up with some modular data center building block solutions that can reduce the cost and boost energy efficiency. The analysts are reportedly mixed on that, and some of them have been optimistic with a $70 price target. So this morning, SMCI is looking pretty good. Our support is going to be 42.89. Right now, we are at 45.12. And our resistance for today, in my opinion, is going to be 50.22. MACD is bullish. Momentum is also above average. So it's all systems go for SMCI. Broadcom is down 0.53%. And its support is going to be at 227.33. This morning in pre-market trade, we are at 229.40. And our resistance is going to be 236.77 for today. Our RSI is overbought and it has to cool down. A bit of consolidation, staying above this minor line of support, or potentially falling down below that and finding support with the 9-day exponential at 222.40 is a distinct possibility. And then look at Palantir, which is up 1.19%, a very strong stock. It has validated this support, and I'm going to mark this as green. And this support is happening to be at 124.43. And it's going to perform the role of support today, a very strong support indeed, because it coincides with the 9-day exponential at 124.58, the red line that you see out there. And I think that the MACD is tending towards the signal line, ready to cross over the bearish side. And the momentum is also above average, but I'm seeing some bearish divergences out here. And I would be a bit cautious with Palantir, even though it's pretty strong. And that said, I would look at SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF, which has got a gap up out here, which needs to be filled up. And it's at 245.01 this morning. And that it takes it somewhere around this region. So our minor line of resistance at 245.62 is going to be the first resistance for today, breaking which it would go on to 250.97, which is the next minor line of resistance for us. And the support is going to come from the 9-day exponential sitting at 238.20 for today. RSI is overbought. Momentum is moving towards being somewhere close to the 70%. I need it to fall below the 70% to be comfortable that we can continue with our upward momentum. And we'll wait and see if that happens today as SMH cools off. And our MACD is tending towards the signal line, trying to cross over to the bearish side. Now, if we were to look at the Tempus AI chart for our friend Hot Dog, we see that we still continue to have very strong support at around 59.65. Pre-market, we are at 64.20. And our minor line of resistance at 64.21 is just above that. So I would say the resistance for today is going to be 68.11. And the support for today, if it's not 64.21, it's going to be 62.56, which is the 9-day exponential moving average. And friends, that brings me to an end of today's analysis. And I'll just look at the comment section and see if anyone has any comments. I think all the Max 7 have to prove their valuation under present conditions. Absolutely, Hot Dog. I agree with you on that. And at the same time, what I would like to also point out is that if the other stocks, if the overall market goes bad and other stocks are also in the same pressure, then investors might probably look at the financial position and the cash position of these Max 7s. So, of course, you are right that they will be under pressure. But if everyone falls, then probably the Max 7 will fall a little less than the others, because most of them have got a really strong balance sheet. And also they are in the business of increasing productivity, which is what is more important if interest rate goes up, so that you can be competitive. So that's what I was saying, but I agree with you. They also have to prove their valuation, especially when you look at something that has gone very high, and like, for example, Tesla has a very high valuation. It has to prove for sure that it has got good valuation. With that, I think I come to an end of today's session, and I would like to maybe go and have my breakfast, and I'll catch up with you guys again in the next live stream or my next videos, please check out my videos, because I'm working on a whole lot of CRISPR videos and genomics videos, as well as full length videos along with shorts. So you would see that I'm putting a lot more efforts on the channel and trying to improve the cadence as well as the quality of the content. And hopefully that mix works out for our audience. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now. See you later.